Well,
Welcome, everybody, to Redox Nurse Talk, and we're so glad that you came to listen and learn about this technology. This is a platform that my co-host, Doria Stewart, and I use to share this technology with people around the world. So glad you came to learn about it, and we'll share some information. We have a wonderful guest tonight, Beth Pollari, and I haven't met Beth in person, but I've heard her story, and as with all of our guests, they have an amazing story and something that we can learn from as well. So first of all, I want to make our disclaimer that redox molecules do not diagnose, treat, or cure anything. They just give the body what it needs to take care of any issues in our body. Also, housekeeping rules, if you're going to be moving around, just take your camera off video so it's not distracting to our speaker. And we'll just stay muted. In the end, we will open up the chat. And if anyone has questions for Beth, I'm sure she'd be glad to answer the questions. It's just easier to put in the chat and we can kind of handle the time management a little bit better that way. I'm going to introduce my co-host and let her tell a little bit about herself. Doria, she is, and you can tell us where you are, Doria.
oh yes. So I'm in the great state of Utah. Came out here to corporate where these awesome redox signaling molecules are made. So that's exciting. I originally am in Georgia. I'm a nurse there. I currently still work as a nurse part-time. I've been one for a very long time. And this technology was brought to me by a very dear friend who is a dentist. And he said, this might be something you might want to take a look at, not only for, maybe thinking about maybe sharing this with others or also take it in for yourself. So the technology, I didn't have any issues when I first started. But what it has done for me is given me more vitality, more wellness. I have with the technology, I would say I sleep better. My allergies are better. I have a lot more endurance, a lot more energy. And I guess a couple weeks ago, Cindy I was so honored, thankful for her because she hosted Redox Nurse Talk by herself and she did a fabulous job. And I got kind of out of sorts. Redox signaling molecules are wonderful in reference to cell communication, which you'll hear in a little bit on our video. But I kind of got out of balance, and it's important to be in balance. And so, hydration is so important. Rest is important. Eating right is good, and I allowed some of those to kind of go to the wayside. And once I realized that, I got back on track. Was taking my molecules, but the other things as far as my nutrition, my hydration, I kind of, wasn't, taking like I should because I work 8 or 9 hours when I do work, and very seldom do I have a chance to drink or, eat properly. And the other part of that is stress. So it's been a very stressful in my life here lately, and it's important to be emotionally balanced, spiritually balanced, and physically balanced. But I'm back on track and excited to hear Beth's story tonight, and I'm going to hand it back over to Cindy.
Thank you, Doria. I am a nurse here in Nashville, and I was introduced to the product about 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago. And I was already on that journey for a holistic, more natural way to manage issues in your body. I had 4 autoimmune challenges, 2 which were more prominent. And after taking ASEA and increasing my dosage and just cleaning up my eating as well, I am no longer on any medications and no symptoms at this time. So I love what it's done. And the short term, the things I noticed were better sleep and better energy, like Doria and like so many other people noticed right off the bat. So it's something I will always take, like Doria always says, just like drinking water, you're going to do it every day. So, and there's no side effects. So why not? So with that, we're going to show a short video just explaining how this technology works. And if you're new, this will give you a good idea of what we're talking about. If you're not, you've seen this probably a million times. And if you're like me, every time I listen to it, I always see something different that I don't remember. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll watch Alan Noble's. This is the overview video for the website realredoxresults.com. And it has over 140 something testimonials on there. So if you want to look, you can look by category, and it's a good resource, and you can hear some testimonials in person, and they're awesome. So let me share my screen and we will start that.
Hello, my name is Alan Noble. I've been involved in the health and wellness industry for over 30 years, and I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to introduce you to a cutting-edge health technology that we call ASEA Redox. ASEA Redox represents a new category in health and wellness that for 2 decades science had declared was impossible. It could not be done. And yet today, health and medical experts around the world are calling ASEA Redox one of the single greatest health science breakthroughs of our lifetime. Now, a great place to get started is to get clear on what ASEA Redox is not. It's not a vitamin, a mineral, an antioxidant supplement. It's not an exotic juice, essential oil, or a CBD oil. Now, there's nothing wrong with any of those things. I'm just saying they're not ASEA Redox. This technology goes beyond nutrition, it goes beyond ingredients, and yet it has the power to impact your health at a depth that no other supplement has ever come close to achieving. For many people, ASEA Redox is the missing link to better health and vitality. Now, to understand this technology, you've got to realize that your body is the most complex communication network on Earth. Every second of every day, your cells are signaling and communicating critical messages for health, healing, and repair. If there's any breakdown in that signaling, you cannot achieve your full health potential. You see, this signaling impacts every system, every organ, every function of your body. You could say that if your cells can't signal, then little else matters. Now, you've probably heard it said that we live and die at the cellular level. If you want a healthy heart, have healthy heart cells. If you want healthy lungs, have healthy lung cells. Well, as science looks deeper inside your 75 trillion cells, they've discovered a very special set of molecules called redox signaling molecules. These are the molecules that you make that are absolutely foundational for healthy cell signaling throughout your body. However, here's the challenge. With age, diet, stress, toxins, we begin to make less of these redox signaling molecules. And it's about 10% decline every decade. So by age 50, you've about half the signaling that you had when you were younger. And as a result, things just don't work like they used to. You begin to see, you begin to feel the effects of aging. A simple example. Imagine your home's on fire and you call the fire department and they're there with the big red truck, the firefighters, the fire hose. They've got everything they need to put out this fire, but what if you have a bad cell signal? They don't get the message. They don't know what the problem is, where the problem is, how serious the problem is, and your home goes up in smoke. Well, it's the same with your health. So let me ask you a very powerful question. What if? What if you could amplify and clarify this critical cell signal and empower your body to work like it's supposed to? That would be a game changer. So introducing ASEA Redox, the world's first and only cell signaling supplement powered by high energy redox signaling molecules. And since this technology is backed by 7 patents and over 1,000 trade secrets, there's no other supplement like it in the world. Now, not only is ASEA Redox a cell signaling technology, but it also signals at the profound depths of the genetic level. In an 8-week study, it was found that drinking ASEA Redox could increase 5 important gene signaling pathways by up to 31%, positively impacting 5 major areas of health: immune function, inflammatory response, cardiovascular health, digestive health, and even hormone balance. It's also been shown that ASEA Redox significantly impacts the NRF2 pathway, which is the master switch that signals the production of the most powerful antioxidants known to man, including the master antioxidant glutathione. Now, 2 separate university studies showed that ASEA Redox increases NRF2 activation by up to 60%, resulting in an increase of glutathione production by up to 55%. So although ASEA Redox is not your traditional antioxidant supplement, its impact on antioxidant health is nothing short of astonishing. Now, this is just one key on the ASEA piano. ASEA Redox is much more than an NRF2 activator or an antioxidant supplement. Remember, signaling impacts every system, every organ, every function of your body. If your cells can't signal, then little else matters. So at this point, let's hear what health and medical professionals are saying about the ASEA Redox breakthrough.
Inside every cell in your body, you're constantly producing negative and positive molecules called oxidants and reductants. And the contraction of that name is redox.
So with these molecules, we're amping up that communication. We're helping that cell signal.
Without these cell signaling molecules, we simply wouldn't do the gene replication that we need, the DNA sequencing that we need. These redox signaling molecules interact throughout the body with every cell that we know.
Every cell in our body needs these molecules for communication purposes. The more balanced they are, the more abundant they are, the healthier we are.
ASEA actually has the combination of the oxidants and the reductants that the body makes. So all we're doing with ASEA is enhancing what the body is already doing.
Having a product, a technology that's native to the body doesn't have to worry about detoxifying it because it knows exactly what to do with redox molecules. It's one of, if not the safest recommendation I ever make to a patient.
They found a way to stabilize them outside the body. And you can actually put them back into bodies that are deficient in those molecules. That's a game changer.
To have something that at its molecular level is native to the body is nothing short of a breakthrough.
This is something that's foundational for health, for every cell. It affects every cell in our body. And not just the cells, but the very DNA within those cells. You know, we talk about the discovery of DNA as being a huge breakthrough, the discovery of penicillin. Yes, these were absolutely huge discoveries. But now we have something that actually goes even deeper.
So hopefully you're beginning to see why this technology is being hailed as one of the most significant health science breakthroughs of our lifetime. It's empowering people to feel better than ever before. For many, it is the missing link to better health and vitality. And it's not just health. Athletes are experiencing improvements in endurance, strength, and recovery, beating personal bests and breaking documented world records. In a university study, mice drinking ASEA Redox for only 7 days ran 29% further to exhaustion due to significant metabolic shifts in their bodies as they started to burn more fat as fuel. And so amateur athletes all the way to Olympic athletes are enjoying the ASEA athletic advantage. Now, after another 5 years of research and development, the scientists behind ASEA Redox were able to develop Renew 28, a topical gel that is infused with these powerful high-energy redox signaling molecules. So you've probably heard it said that seeing is believing. Well, when Renew 28 is applied to the skin, it results in a healthy, clear complexion, tighter, younger-looking skin, while dramatically reducing wrinkles, stretch marks, cellulite, and many other signs of aging. It also improves skin cell renewal rates and increases skin cell blood flow. We also discovered that when you apply Renew 28 to anywhere that hurts, ideally 3 applications in 5 minutes, over 90% of people notice a significant reduction in their discomfort. Now, I do want to point out that we've continued to expand our range of redox signaling products to include an intensive redox serum for those little trouble spots, and then more recently the redox clay mask, combining our redox signaling gel with an ultra pure bentonite clay. And so headed up by the big blue bottle, this is our cell signaling product division. However, we have 4 product divisions in total. We offer a very clean and effective skincare system called Renew Advanced, high-quality bioavailable nutritionals called ASEA Via, and more recently, fun functional beverages called Cell Performance that address fatigue, brain fog, stress, as well as a vegan amino acid formula that helps your body build its own valuable collagen. Now, of course, the purpose of this video was to introduce you to our remarkable cell signaling technology. Now, we have other videos and websites that go a lot deeper into this health science breakthrough. But for now, I would encourage you to explore some of the other videos on this website. This is where you're going to hear how this technology has impacted people's lives. And some of these stories are absolutely astonishing. Real people sharing real redox results. So this is Alan Noble thanking you for your time today, and bye for now.
I love his updated speaking. I love his updated video. It gives a lot more information, especially goes into the products. Okay, now we're going to introduce our guest. And tonight we have info here. Tonight we have Beth Pollari. And Beth is originally from Newport, New Hampshire. She has a dog named Hank, and they enjoy walking and hiking in the woods. And I know she was actually doing that today. Beth also enjoys skiing and being creative, and as such, she sings in a band, she writes, and she loves to work with people with limited beliefs. Beth is the owner of One Tree Wellness, which encompasses several modalities to help improve your health. She's passionate about helping people heal at the root and to thrive in life. And Beth, I didn't go into any of your testimonies. I'm going to leave that to you. So if you will unmute and come on and just tell us how you were introduced to ASEA and what was going on in your life at that time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Cindy, and thank you both for inviting me. So I was introduced to ASEA many years ago. My good friend Laura Zentmeyer, who many of you may know, would tell me all of these amazing stories, and I didn't have any health challenges. I don't know if you can hear Hank in the background. He's looking for his bone. So
I see his tail.
Yeah, he's very cute. So I tried it. I got a bottle from her. I didn't notice much. And so because I was healthy, I just didn't go any farther with it. And at that point in my journey, I had been about 8 years into really understanding the mind-body connection. So I meditated daily and looked at the connection that we have with our physical body and what it really means to be in wellness, right? However, I reached a point in my life where I was moving and I was buying land and downsizing. So a home of 3 bedrooms, attic, garage, and a basement. I downsized into a small storage and a tiny home while I was building my house. And so I was under an immense amount of stress. And it's very interesting how when we're in these experiences of stress, our body can really respond. Like Doria was saying, it's so important to think about all these pieces of the puzzle. And a year prior, I had got some work done on a tattoo on my left foot. And I experienced a great amount of swelling, and it made me wonder. My intuition kicked in and said, that's interesting. Why didn't that happen previously when I had first gotten the tattoo? And it was because I got colored ink added in the second session, and my foot blew up. I couldn't walk on it for a few days. And when I researched it, I learned how there could be toxins in some of the colored ink. So if anyone has had this experience or knows people with tattoos, just worth noting, it can happen. So about a year later, I found myself in this experience with the home, and my foot was not healing. So I couldn't walk on it very well. I had kind of tore it a little bit, not tore it, but I injured it on a hike in Arcadia. And it just was not healing. And that wasn't like me. I really don't have any health issues. And so I was just sort of struggling very quietly. And one morning, Laura and I were having breakfast. And during that time as well, I was experiencing inflammation in my body. So my wrists were swelling. I was wearing these braces on my hands to sleep because I was uncomfortable. My hands would fall asleep if I didn't have the braces on, and I'd wake up multiple times throughout the night. And I had never experienced anything like this in my life. So we're having breakfast and she's like, "How are you?" And I'm a super positive person. I really don't talk about my problems, but I was like, well, not too great. This is going on. And it also perplexed me because up until then, I had healed so much through meditation. I had gone to a Dr. Joe Dispenza week-long retreat, and I healed a sprained ankle just by thought alone. Like, I am this really open-minded person about the power we have of our mind. And I was sort of a little bit like, well, why isn't this working right now for me, right? But it was completely divine intervention because I knew, now looking back on my life, how important ASEA has been to me. So I knew that I had to experience that. So she put the gel on my wrists, and I did not have to wear the braces after 2 days. Immediately, I noticed a big difference. The second night, I just didn't wear them, and I didn't wake up at all. And so I thought I was going to try the same thing on my foot that I was experiencing all of the discomfort and swelling. So I'll show you all a picture. This was March 3rd, and that's the foot with the tattoo. That's bigger. You can see a little bit of the tattoo on top there, a little bit of the blue ink. And I put the gel on, definitely morning and night. If I thought of it again, I'd throw it on, but really it was pretty much morning and night. And during that time, I was seeing a naturopath, a homeopathic nutritionist, and she would muscle test my body. And so I asked her, please test my foot for to see if there's lead present. And she did muscle test it being positive. So she also tested me to see if ASEA would do the trick, and it did. So this is March 30th. So 27 days later, the foot actually, I think, looks smaller than the other foot. I think I should have been putting it on both feet. But my foot was back to normal, and sure enough, I didn't have to wear all of those funny shoes that you have to wear when you have that experience of something pulled in your heel. And voila. So I was like, oh my gosh, just like when I learned about meditation, I'm like, everyone needs to know about redox. This is incredible. So I continued to take it. And looking back on my life, I've never skied so much in my life. I've never had such great sleep in my life. I've never been so strong in my life. And all I do is walk, maybe a little kickboxing or some yoga dance. But I haven't changed in terms of strength training. And every time I go out dancing with my friends, I'm always down on the ground doing these dance moves. And everyone is like, and I love it when I'm with my college friends who all work out and they're like, how are you doing that? How are you out like squatting us in this dance move? Because they run and they do all these things. So I love redox. It's totally changed my life. I have become this place of really transitioning, because in the beginning I was so fueled about the mind body connection, and I really have learned how incredibly important cellular health is as a foundation to our mood, as a foundation to the physical strength in our body, and of course our health overall. But it's been incredible to add this into what I offer my clients, because it is helping them on so many levels within their body, their mind, their spirit, all of those things. And I've really understood how foundational the physical body is with our cells. And when you marry that with, like Doria was saying, good nutrition, good mindset, good healthy patterns, like it's really a marriage made in heaven. So I knew that my practice needed ASEA, and it was so funny. And the reason that I came into being a meditation teacher was because I experienced a concussion that I wasn't healing from. And the doctor said, oh, you have post-concussive syndrome. And I sort of sat and sulked for a while in my house. And after a few weeks, I put on some relaxing music on YouTube. I put on a light work meditation that was guided about Archangel Gabriel. It was wonderful. And sure enough, I started to feel better. So it's been really neat to see how these challenges in my life have really led me to these beautiful, whether it's a practice like meditation or this beautiful product to be able to share with the world. And it's just so wonderful when I think we can encourage people in that way, because I think people can get a little bit stuck or like really feel hopeless in healing. And these inspirational stories that we all have in our lives are really wonderful to share, because I think it reminds people that our challenges can be our greatest blessings.
I love that. Yeah, like you said, there's so many different things. And like Doria mentioned, we just got to stay in balance, and we've got to do the right things with our nutrition and add everything in that can actually supplement to improve our health, quote. So tell me, have you grown as a person, not just physically improved, but how have you grown? Tell me some other areas that this company or this product has helped you.
Oh, I love that. So I definitely notice a difference in my consciousness. I definitely notice I'm already a positive person, but this has just made it even more easy to stay in this place within my being. When I taste, if I'm a little stressed with maybe not getting enough sleep or super busy, and I notice the taste is a little off, it's so incredible how I notice that shift in my mood. And A few years ago, I started this project of building this home, and I set out this intention. Okay, the person I was building the home with, we decided to go our separate ways, and I took over this project, which was a pretty large endeavor to build a house. And it was the beginning of the year, 2 years ago, and I sort of just said, okay, I'm ready to receive, I'm ready to grow, whatever it is I'm meant to be doing, just show me. And a few weeks ago, my team grew by leaps and bounds in this really short amount of time. And I just answered the call and said, okay, I'm meant to be a leader in this company. Like, I would not have guessed that, even though I love ASEA so much and I love what it's done for me and the people that it's helped. So it's really shown me, this company has shown me what it truly means to hold our potential and step into this place where it can feel a little daunting if you're sharing something that maybe people don't know about and they're going to say no to you and they're scared. But what I've found is like living my own truth, like we were saying, of staying in balance. Like, I take ASEA every day. I love it so much. I rub it on, whatever. And I'm always sharing it when I'm out. And it's just allowed me to be even more comfortable with stepping outside of the box and saying yes to the why. Like, I love helping people. I want help. I've always wanted to help people, even since I was a little girl, and people have flocked to me a lot to sort of just be in counsel. I really enjoy talking with people. But now it's like this whole other thing of helping people with their physical body. So I've learned so much, especially from Laura, about how cells work, about what this is actually doing in our body. So I've just come into this whole other place of really being a leader and a teacher in another way. I was already a teacher for meditation and consciousness, but yeah, that's how it's changed my life.
Do you use any of the other products with the ASEA?
Yes, I love the mind. I am completely addicted to the energy cell performance. I do have tendency to be, that's the other thing. I believe I think a lot of us have ADHD or ADD or something. I'm totally not diagnosed. But the ASEA alone with the energy has helped me incredibly with focus. It's like night and day. Even though I'm an incredible teacher, when I'm hyper focused about something that I love, like teaching presence or connecting with someone, but then when I'm in my life, I'm sort of like, and I'm sure as women, we can understand how we have lots of things on our plate. And those two have been game changers, just the redox alone and the energy. I also use the skincare, love it. I use the omegas, love those. Yep.
I'm like you though with the energy, and I know the mind is supposed to help you focus, and then the mood is supposed to lift your spirits and your mood. But when I drink the energy, it's like I kind of get a little bit of everything. I just feel like I can go out and conquer the world. My mood is better. So that's my favorite, other than the radiance of the cell performance. But it's amazing, and it probably reacts differently with different people as well. Okay. What would you say about the company as a whole or the culture? First of all, have you ever done direct sales or multi-level marketing before?
I just want to add, I also love the radiance. Um, I forgot that one. So I love the company. I got to go to headquarters last year and be in a small room with Tyler and sit with a handful of people for a morning and like really hear how his dad had ASEA in mason jars, and Tyler thought he was frightened. He thought, my dad's peddling moonshine, and what's going to happen? And that's what I mean about this whole idea of fear. Like, when we're going out into the world with this thing that we know has helped us so much, and then there's this thing that we come against with people having, oh, well, that's different, or I'm not sure, and so it was interesting to hear his story of such a young boy growing up in that, and now seeing him lead the company with such grace and this like fierce dedication, right? Um, so that was an amazing experience to visit headquarters, and I highly recommend it if anyone has not. And then I also went to convention, and I just every person I ran into and brushed elbows with just felt like a friend or someone that I could hang out with, and drink some tea with. And I just am truly inspired by this whole entire vision of the story of how it was created, and not created, but how everything flew in. It just again felt like divine intervention, the whole story of the inception of ASEA. And so I'm just honored to be a part of it. I've never yeah, so I being in wellness, I have like sold Norwex, which is microfiber cleaning with no chemicals, because it's right up my alley. I'm all about no chemicals. I love Norwex. I don't sell it, but I tried to. uh, and um, there is another company that I work with, Frequency Medicine, that I am a rep for. So they're all things that have ASEA definitely is the biggest one that I have really stepped into a role. And that was truly just because I put that intention out there, and it just showed itself to me, which is really how I live my life, about seeing, okay, what is it that I'm meant to know right now about life? What is it like that I'm guided to be going down that path, using that place of intuition and feeling aligned with things. So yeah.
That's awesome. I don't have any other questions. Doria, do you have some questions?
Well, I've checked off all the ones you've answered, but I do want to ask you, Beth. So you're like a wellness coach. You use a lot of different modalities in your practice. How do you incorporate? So how do you share this with those that come into your office? Is it like the first thing you add or share with them, or doing it? I'm sure you do an assessment. So kind of like walk us through that process. What would that look like if I came to your establishment, and I was dealing with it, well, like I said, it was out of sorts. How would you talk to me about redox?
So I honestly think it's a fit for everyone. I wait until there's something that someone gives me where I can say, okay, redox is a great fit for you because you're having hormone issues, or you're having issues sleeping. I very often will show them the gel muscle test first, just to show how much stronger our body gets and how quickly it is. Um, and I will also encourage them to try that first, because in the past I've noticed that people that are really ready to do the drink, they'll commit to it. But some people notice things right off, and some people it takes a couple of months, or whatever their trajectory of healing is. But with the gel, it's so instant. So I will carry the gel in my office. I will carry the drink for people that maybe just need a bottle or two, like they're already clients and they just ran out or something. But I often don't sell the drink out of my office, because I think it's more of something that I really want people to be in that place where they're ready to make that commitment, because I think that that's where true results happen. Um, and I'll just really anyone, if they're experiencing depression or anxiety, if they've got physical things going on, I just think across the board it's foundational.
Right. Okay. So I want to make a disclaimer here, that redox signaling molecules is not, intended to treat, diagnosis, or cure anything. But what you're saying, if it has to do with cells, it's going to work, with everyone. It doesn't matter what they come into your office with. We know that, if wherever the cell is located is, definitely going to, make an impact in their body systems. I mentioned earlier about the mason jar. That's a long version of the Genesis story, and it's a really incredible story. I really love that. Every time I listen to it, I cry. But those of you that are on the Zoom have never seen the Genesis video. You could just go to YouTube and look up ASEA Genesis, and I would really encourage you to look at that, because we talk about network marketing, and a lot of people, turn their nose up to it. It's like one of those things, but this was a breakthrough, and the breakthrough is that it's the way that we market, this wonderful gift And, so when you see the Genesis story and, watch that, you'll think differently about how we, share this product with others. So, yeah, so that's all I have to say. So I guess if there's anybody, like Cindy said, has any questions, if you'll put those in a chat for Beth, that way we'll direct those questions to her.
While they're typing, I will comment on what you said, Doria. Network marketing or multi-level marketing is awesome, and people just don't realize how it really works. I mean, where else could you potentially work wherever you want to and when you want to and make as much as you want to? You're in control depending on how much you want to work and how much effort you put into it. You can't do that. You can't make any more money at your regular job, usually, by working longer hours. I can tell you, I'm a hospice nurse and I still chart at home after hours, and I don't make any more for doing that. But with the SIA, the results of your output or your income, so to speak, is the results of your input. So, yeah. So anyway, does anyone, come on, y'all have to have questions for Beth. Beth, this has been awesome. And I love the way you pulled everything together. And it just sounds like you're an all-in-one, one-stop shop with healing and health. I wish you were closer.
It's really been my passion. I think as a young girl, I grew up with two grandmothers who used herbs, and if we were sick, we had honey with whatever in it. And it was a lot of talk about our mind over matter. And I was brought up in this culture really subtly, but it made me question things. And it also made me feel balanced, I think, in a way, growing up and looking inward to see what my body needed, right? And yeah, so I whenever I want to learn something or grow, I'm just a very inquisitive person that is open-minded and ready to try something. And I think that's really, really important in just growing and helping and looking at those things that maybe could be. Because when Laura showed me all these things, I'm one of her good friends, and we would have class together, and she would just keep telling me these wonderful stories of helping people, and I just kept thinking, like, this almost feels too good to be true. But wow, and again, we're not treating, curing, or diagnosing anything, but I really truly believe that when you bring that balance into the body, it's that inner doctor that we're turning on, and it's so incredible to be a part of that. And I think that's been my life path, to really help people come back into balance, whether it's through meditation or looking at some healing limiting beliefs, and now this beautiful piece that's foundational with our health of ourselves. So yeah.
And I like what you said about the balance. And if you don't have a good mindset, if you're a negative person, you're probably going to suffer from some health challenges. I mean, you can't have the wrong mindset and negative outlook and be healthy. I just don't think that works well together. And like I said, I think you cover a lot of things of pulling it all together. It's just awesome. I appreciate that. Let's see, I thought I saw some comments in the chat. Said, thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing your story. Redox and mood support many people. Everyone can benefit from more redox signaling molecules. Thank you sincerely. And that's from Betsy.
Absolutely.
And Barbara Stoltz, thank you for sharing. Teresa LeGrand, great job. You see all that. Such a beautiful testimony. No questions? Come on. Can't believe no one has questions.
It's worth noting too, those beautiful cell performance. I love how Alan says that they're fun and functional. They really are. They lengthen telomeres as well, which is huge with meditation. I mean, if you're a meditator, you're like doing great all the time, but like we could just pour this in some water. The telomeres are huge.
They are for your longevity and health.
Yeah. I love how this company packs a punch with, they really put a lot of thought and innovation with what they're bringing out. So,
and they're looking for clean products. And like you were mentioning, knowing your body, you have to be your own advocate for your health, because I went to the third doctor provider before I was treated the right way, I should say, with my challenges, because, you know, they didn't know my body like I did. And I kept saying, no, that's not right. You're missing something, you know. So you have to stand up. And if you, whatever you feel is going on, you've got to keep digging until you find it, or until you find healing with whatever that looks like too. Can we see Hank before we go? Is he still there? Saw him briefly.
Oh boy, yeah, we can think.
And that's healing in itself too.
Oh, well, so on the scale of consciousness, love is at 500 in terms of it's also muscle tested. It gives it a value. And so a dog's wagging tail is unconditional love, which is 540. So whenever we're around dogs from an energetic level, in terms of like how, if you think about things being energy, everything being consciousness, like you were saying, how important it is, Cindy, with our mindset. Our body is, if you believe in this, it's energy. And so we're vibrating at those certain levels. So dogs are above love. They're unconditional love, which is so incredible. All right, so let's see. Hey. Hi, puppy. Did you see him?
I see his body. I don't see his face.
Hold on just a minute.
Oh, how cute.
Look.
Oh.
Yeah,
He's precious.
He's very precious.
I love dogs. Well, there are no more questions for Beth.
I think there was one about you give your puppy redox.
Oh yes, I do. So I give Hank, he had some challenges with a tick bite. And so he has done well with redox and healing wounds. One of my cousin's doggies, female, got a little snippy with him and bit his cute little face. The Renew works amazing at healing wounds. I mean, you all know that. And so that was very helpful. And then he had some issues with some gingivitis. That was an early thing that was going on. I can't really say gingivitis, but it was just some buildup on his teeth. And that was helpful as well. So, and he loves the Renew. He'll lick it right off. If he hears this cap, he comes right over. And a lot of people ask, how do you give your animals the redox? So I give it to him in a glass bowl, the drink, and I just float a couple of pieces of his kibble. And he's trained to, then I just turn and wait, and I drink my redox, and then he drinks his redox, and then he gets his meal. And it's wonderful because he sees that I'm doing it.
So cute.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for having this technology, especially for him, because we know how we feel, right? But I give it to him every day just because may we not know what we're preventing, right?
Exactly. There is one more question. It says, I'm sure you have clients who struggle emotionally. Have you found redox to help your clients in that area?
Yes, I have. And so because it's boosting the serotonin levels, and it's also working with our sleep patterns, it's super helpful with those things. I have had success.
Yeah. And I know there's some stories on the Real Redox results as well with that. Well, thank you again, Beth, for doing this. This has been awesome. It was nice to meet you face to face via Zoom.
Very nice.
And thank you for sharing your story and your testimony. We will upload this to our YouTube channel, and you can just go and search Redox Nurse Talk, and we'll have it uploaded by in the morning. Doria, do you want to close out and then tell about our next guest for next week?
Yes, for sure. So I think most of the people on this Zoom, I believe, are associates or either taking the redox, but if you're not, and this is the first time that you've heard about this and this resonates with you, then certainly get back to the person that invited you on the Zoom. And then next week, Beth had mentioned Laura Zetmeyer. So Laura is our guest next week on Redox Nurse Talk. So, share this with everybody invite people to it, because we're trying to get the word out to let as many people as we can know about this gift that, can help a lot of people. So thank you.
Thank you, Doria. So if that's all for tonight, we're going to stop the recording and get it started here. Stop here. Okay.